So our charity beneficiary for the second year in a row is the Ian Somerhalder Foundation. And Ian is with us, and I would like to welcome him to the stage. Right meow. So, Ian, I'm gonna pass you the mic super quick. Maybe we should sit down.
Sure.
Let's sit down.
I'm tired. I can do it.
Why don't you tell people a little bit about Ian Somerhalder Foundation and what you guys are doing for animals?
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. I love the title, Men and Cats, A Love Story. It's when you see the truest, sort of sweetest side of a man is when they're petting a cat. I was just hanging out with Lil BUB just now, and you just turn into a ball of mush. The Ian Somerhalder Foundation, the idea was to give a voice to the voiceless, whether they're 2 legs, 4 legs, feathered, slithered, scaled. But the idea is to build community to create quantifiable action. And I'm really grateful to everyone who has supported us and continues to support us. And make sure you go to our booth. It's booth 517. It's so fun. It's interactive. We are really grateful for all the help and donations and volunteering. But it's a crazy thing what we do in this world and the levels of abuse and unhappiness that we see, and as a result of that ends in a lot of poor animal care, right? So this is a community. This is a great community. The sort of cat and dog community is unbelievable and very, very, very supportive and protective and loving. So all I can hope for is not just to help save animals, cats, dogs, horses, cows, chickens, everything on the planet, but the reality of it is to bring us closer together, which is something that's very difficult in this day and age, especially in the digital space. We think we're so connected and together, but we're really distancing ourselves from this interaction. You know what I mean? So these things are really, really incredible. And the other side that the Ian Somerhalder Foundation really, really, really wants to focus on is your mom's calling. The other greatest thing that we're focusing on is utilizing basically the biggest untapped natural resource in the world that sits right under our noses all day and every day, and we don't necessarily get to empower them enough. And that's our kids. Our youth are our biggest natural resource. So within this community and this ecosystem, that's why I ask you for all the help and donations and time you can provide, because with that, we can build a stronger, better future by educating our kids. And that is what makes it so exciting. It's not just about saving animals. It's about building the next generation. And saving all these little furry babies is really an amazing thing that we get to do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And be sure to go to 517. We would really love to see you there, truly. Tell me.
So I'm going to ask Ian just a couple of quick questions before he has to go about his animals, because he is a cat man. Ian, how many cats do you have?
60. No, I'm joking. 3. 3 furry, amazing babies. Moke, Sohalia, and Thursday. Thursday Adams. Got her on Thursday, not a Wednesday. And do you have a favorite? No favorites. They're all my babies. But Thursday has actually been with my mom for a while now because her hips, they don't work properly. This was an animal who, I got her when she was 9 months old, and the reason her hips didn't work was because she'd never really walked. She'd been in a cage this big for 9 months of her entire life. So her muscle had atrophied and the joints didn't properly develop. And Moke, my big guy, and the dogs scare her and pounce on her, and she wants to play, but it hurts her. So, but again, we have the issue, that's why what's so great about spay and neuter clinics, but we have this issue of, again, we allow overpopulation, you know, and it's very sometimes cost prohibitive to develop spay and neuter clinics. But one thing I would offer up, I don't know anyone here or knows anyone in the biotech world, and this was a proposal that I sort of loosely, and I wish I would have not so loosely sent it to the Obama administration, but if dogs and cats are unfortunately euthanized to the tune of between 10 and 13 million a year, if we spend that kind of money, and we spend $1 billion a year putting animals down, why don't we spend another 50 or 30 million developing species-specific sterilization drugs, things that we can just give to cats and dogs, so we don't have these massive quantities of money going into spay and neuter and euthanization. Anyone here who has that ability to put it together, I think we could have a real shot at preventing a lot of these overpopulation issues.
Thank you. Yeah. So Ian is going to hit the road. He is in the midst of filming a series for Netflix, so he has to go back to the frozen tundra. Yeah, right. But I actually have a question for everybody here. How many of you have pictures of your cat on your phone? Really? That few of you? Well, you know what we'd like to do right now is Ian and I want to take a selfie with you guys, and we want you to show us your kitties at the same time. Okay, so I'd like everybody to hold up their phones, and we're going to take a selfie with everybody. Oh, yeah, great. Okay?
It's kind of like that Ellen shot at the Oscars, but I'm not famous. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. I hope I didn't bore you to tears. And it's really awesome to be a part of this small but powerful, powerful community. So thank you.
Okay, you're the master.
All right. I've never taken a selfie before, but I think I know how to do this. All right, get them out, guys.
Get out your kitties.
Get them out. That's awesome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you guys so much. Go to 517, and if you're really, really bored in probably March or April, start checking out my new show. It, oddly enough, deals with vampires. And even if you hate it, still stream it so Netflix knows people love it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all very, very much. Have a blast.
Thanks, Ian. That was tremendous. Great to meet you. Absolutely.
Thank you very, very much. Bye, guys. Love to you as well, man.
Wow. Wasn't that a great surprise, everyone? Everybody, Susan Michaels and Ian Somerhalder. Unbelievable. You never know what you're going to get at CatCon, especially late in the day. So, back to other men and cats. When I worked at Catster magazine, I wrote a column called Cat Dandy about a well-dressed man who loves cats. And in that column, I often highlighted men who love cats. We're going to meet a number of men now who love cats, and we're going to hear them speak. I want to ask you, though, to hold your applause to a minimum, because we have a cat out here, and I think you know her. We don't want to startle her. So please quietly welcome the first of our 4 panelists, Mike Brodavsky and Lil BUB. Bub, you're killing me. Oh. The next of our cat-loving men is somebody who you saw here yesterday give a heart-stopping performance. He lives in Portland, Oregon, with 5 cats. He's a rapper. Please welcome to the stage, Moshow. Our next cat man is cat dad to the internet celebrity Monty Boy. Please welcome to the stage, Michael Bjorn. The fourth and final cat-loving man we have with us today is a writer and storyteller who produces a podcast called the Purrrcast, Stephen Ray Morris. Bub, you're killing me. Our moderator today is Georgia Hardstark. She's an actress, writer, TV host, cat lover, and podcast personality. Her credits include Unique Sweets, Drinks with Allie and Georgia, and My Favorite Murder. Everyone welcome Georgia Hardstark.
Hi, guys. Are we allowed to talk? Can we talk? Okay, great. Whew, this is going to be a silent interview. It's kind of a new thing. I am so excited to be moderating this panel of people who, like-minded, like all of us, are obsessed with cats, and they happen to be men, which I don't think should be a big deal, but apparently society doesn't agree with me. So I thought we would kick this off, my question, and then we can just talk because, you know, whatever. The first question I have is, who is the first cat you guys ever loved? Who wants to start? You want to start, Mike?
Yeah, love's a really powerful word.
Yeah.
So the first cat I lived with, I didn't quite love. Then the second cat I lived with, so the first cat was Tiffany, and I still have a scar in the back of my leg. And then the second cat was Pooh. We adopted him. It has an H on the end. Gross. And he was a white Persian that we found like in an ad in the newspaper giving him away, so we took him. And I thought I loved him, but then it turned out he was framing Tiffany by shitting on the bed. Excuse me, I know there's kids, but you're gonna learn the word at some point. Anyways. So we thought she was doing it, and she wasn't friendly, so we were like putting her in the basement. It turns out he was framing her. So then the cat that I thought I loved, I didn't love because he hurt the feelings of the cat that I already didn't love. So I'm not answering your question. The very first cat I loved was Roscoe. And I thought I didn't quite like cats. I mean, I like all animals, but I wasn't very passionate about cats. I was moving out of my home in college. There's 3 of us all moving out at the same time, and this cat just wandered into the house and sat on my foot. And then I went outside, and he followed me to my car and sat on my foot while I put my records in. And I came back. He didn't care about the other guys. And so I took him home. He had my very first cat that was totally my own. He had FIV, and so special needs right from the start. And he was a very special cat. And my son, first son and only son, Roscoe, is named after Roscoe. So
I love that. Moshow, how about you?
Well, a lot of people know I didn't grow up with animals, so it was one of those things where I had no idea what I was missing. But when I was in college, I met a very cool young lady who was into the rapper Lil Wayne, and I was like, oh, I love Lil Wayne too. So we started hanging out, and I would go to her house and study on the weekends. We went to York College in Pennsylvania, and long story short, we were hanging out, and there was a black cat named Queenie that she had, and she would be sitting in the corner while I studied. And as the months went by, she got closer and closer and closer until one day, I just looked up. You know how sometimes you're just sitting down and your cat's in your lap, and you're like, when did you get here? I was studying very hard for my computer science exam, and Queenie sat in my lap, and cat fever just took over.
Didn't you feel special that she finally decided to trust you? And
yeah, and it was magical. I got this feeling that just went in me, and then cat crazy. Yeah.
That's so sweet. Michael, how about you?
Yeah, well, I think I'm a natural-born cat lover, but I didn't know until 2012, actually 13, because I I used to really not like animals that much. I thought it was impractical to have them and all the hair and everything, you know. So I was very practical, but then I met Mikola, my wife, who's sitting down there filming the thing. Hey, you. and she had 2 cats. And one of them was sitting in a sink. He was called Malle. We come from Denmark, by the way, so we flew in Thursday. And he was anxious and was sitting there for, I think, about 3 weeks or so. She got him from abusive home, and he fell in love with me. I completely grounded, and he loved that. And then in 2013, I don't really think that I really, like you, Mike, I really loved Malle. But then I met Monty, as you can see here on the pictures behind me. We went to a cat shelter, and there all of a sudden Monty was, and he's looking a little different, as you can tell. He has a chromosome abnormality, like feline Down syndrome, and I picked him up, and I didn't know much about cats at that point, so I just picked him up at home like a baby, like with his belly upwards, and every other cat would have like scratched my face off. I mean, but as you can see, we're having a great time, and I holded him there. And we just bonded right away. He looked me in the eyes, I looked him in the eyes, we sloping to each other, and something magical just happened. Like you said, the cat fever just take over. I think there is a cat out there for everyone, every man, and they just need to find that specific cat, and then we'll just like be a better man, actually, because today, Monty changed my life completely. I used to use a lint roller just the first year when I met Mikola and get all the hairs off when I left her place. Now I just inhaling the Monty hair. So
it's a badge of honor, really.
Sorry?
It's a badge of honor to be covered in fur.
Yeah, exactly, right. I'm not me if I don't have any Monty hair on me, right? So, and I just fell so much in love with Monty that I got this growing love for all animals. So I actually also turned vegan, so he's just turned my life completely upside down. So I think Monty have made me the best man I could possibly be.
Aww. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Steven, eat that.
Do I have anything profound to say? No. I was very I grew up with pets. I grew up with cats, Sammy, Bam Bam, Pebbles. But really it wasn't until Penny Lane came into my life that I feel like, because I think for me, I've said this before, but I feel like getting a pet to me is a really adult activity where it's Penny Lane is my cat, and so I felt like when I first moved to LA, it was like, okay, you have the big kid job, and then now now I'm ready to get a cat, and so I felt like for me, I think because I've had her since 2012, it's like we've gone on our journey in LA together, and so I feel like that's why for me she's so special, and and just, if other images will pass by, it's like we just have such a, because I don't think of her as my baby, it's like I always think of her as my cool older roommate or whatever, and I felt like it's like once I found that dynamic, because I didn't want, I wasn't being parental to her, we just had a different relationship, and I actually that just made me be like, okay, this is what we have and it's special, so.
Like you respect each other.
Yes.
And,
yeah, she's got her own life, she's got her own things going on, but I have my things going too, so yeah, I think that's what made it really fun. But, so, I know, so Penny Lane was my mom's cat for the first 5 years, so it actually was really great because we had already kind of had the you're home from college kind of, I'd see her every 6 months kind of relationship, so then when my mom was moving to Oregon and she was like, well, we don't know what our situation's like up there, so do you want Penny Lane or Rocky? But I think Penny Lane was just so cool, and we just immediately, and I was like, you know what, you're my cat now, and so.
Yeah. Also,
nice.
Isn't it rare to have an orange cat that's female?
Well, you told me.
Right.
When you were on the Purrrcast.
That would make sense.
And, well, no, but I was backstage, I was like, when I got Penny, I didn't know that orange tabbies were rare, so then it just made me it was like, okay, I made the right choice.
I love it.
So happy. Yeah.
Mike, so I know you probably told this story a million times, but for the three of us who haven't heard it, so you met your wife with Lil BUB's help, is that right? Can you tell us about it?
I did, yeah. I tend to ramble, so moderate me. But
let's do it.
Cool. I was to give you a little frame of reference, Bub is my 5th cat. Oscar ran away at some point. He's not there. But there's Special Agent Dale Cooper sniffing the cupcake. There's Bub casting a magic spell on all of you right now. There's Josie, and Vivian's in the back looking at Bub's butt. And so she joined this crew of cats, and around that same time, I was single for the first time since I was like 13 years old, and I was in my early 30s. And then my cat got inexplicably famous by accident. And one of the benefits of this was that being a man with a cat that is so special and cute, girls really liked that. It certainly wasn't my intention, but I was getting a lot of attention from these ladies, and I happened to be interested in finding someone special, but it's not a great way really to meet people because they really just want to hang out with Bub. But you know, it was a whirlwind. You know, things were really crazy at one time. We were on a book tour. We were, you know, sitting between Whoopi Goldberg and Barbara Walters on The View, and then Robert De Niro held my cat, and you know, all these girls are like hanging out with me, and it was this completely bananas. And in the midst of all this insanity, it's 2014. It's the second annual Cat Video Film Festival in Minneapolis. The Minnesota State Fair, 14,000 people. And the big publicity stunt was that Bub and Grumpy Cat were gonna meet. And this was like right before our book tour, like the peak of like things being really crazy. We like released our book and we released Little Bub's Big Show and all this stuff. And, but we didn't actually, Bub and Grumpy Cat didn't actually meet on the stage. They met in the green room at the Walker Arts Center in Minneapolis. And on that same day, all the people that worked at the Walker Arts Center came down to meet the famous cats. And so a bunch of people came down, and this one stunning woman came down and was like, "What's going on here?" And I was like, "You don't know?" She's like, "I have no idea. It's my second day of work here." And so she was the executive assistant to the director of the Walker Arts Center, and it was her second day. She was not an internet person at all. She didn't know who these cats were, and she was like, "That one cat seems like really upset. But your cat seems really sweet." And I'm thinking, so, and so they were taking pictures with Bub. So we took a picture, Bub. Can you show that picture of, so we actually have a photo of the moment we met.
That's so sweet.
Like literally, and I like to look at my face because I'm like, how the hell do I get her to talk to me? It's literally what I'm thinking, and I failed miserably. I had like 5 seconds, and she started, she's like, "Oh, where are you from?" I was like, "Indiana." And she's like, "Oh, I grew up in Indiana." And I was like, "Do you know my friend Jared?" No, she said Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I knew Jared. So I was like, "Do you know my friend Jared?" And she was like, "Probably not." "Oh, yeah, okay." And then that was it. And I was like, "Oh my God,
You blew that.
And so throughout the day, I just pretended to go to the bathroom like every 20 minutes to hopefully to run into her. It didn't work. Then I got drunk at the after party. This is going to take a while, so I'm going to go real fast. Drunk at the after party, asked Scott. Scott's the guy that brought us out. I said, "Scott, can you give her my email address?" Super lame. The next day I said, "Scott, I'm really sorry, that was unprofessional. Besides, it's an email address." And he's like, "Too late. I already gave it to her. She's actually a very good friend of mine." Turns out he got her the job. Oh. And then I was like, even then I was like, all right, what, like, dude with cat email address. It's not really going to go anywhere. Who's Jared? And then she emailed me, and she was a really sweet email, and it said, "I felt like we had a really nice connection. I'm glad you did too. I'd love to talk on the phone sometime." So good thing we don't have a lot of time because it's a fast story. I got back from the tour. I called her. We talked for 4 hours. On that phone call, I booked a flight to stay at her house for a week. Wow. We went and stayed in a lodge in Wisconsin. I met her mom. We got tattoos together.
What? Sounds chill.
Yeah.
It's a normal
I went
date.
home, told my friends. They said, "You're effing crazy." Then 2 months later, she quit her super nice job at the Walker Arts Center, moved in with me. 2 months after that, she dropped a dessert on the floor. I picked it up on my knee, and I looked at her, and I was like, might as well. Will you marry me?
Oh my God.
It actually started as a joke, and I was like, dude, this is a bad joke. Just do it. And so I did it, and she said yes, thank God. Then we got pregnant, and now we have these guys.
Oh my God.
So that's Roscoe. He's still sucking his thumb. It's a big problem. That's Lula, and this is them now.
Oh my goodness.
This is what she's dealing with at home while I'm sitting here talking about her.
Oh, eBay.
And they're really great. And let's see, what's next? Oh, yeah, and this is, so this thing's called Men and Cats, a Love Story. And Georgia, you made a very good point, I think. I think it should be called Cats, a Love Story. I agree. Like, how many men are in the audience?
Yeah.
I would prefer that it would be equal, and I think that putting us on a pedestal for liking cats is maybe part of the problem. I think everyone likes cats, and that I love my cat because she's a cat, and sure, being a guy that loves cats helped me meet my wife in a way. But yeah, it would be great for it to be 50-50 out there and up here, and we can just talk about cats. So
I love it.
It's Cat's a Love Story. I love my cat.
Yay. I have a burning, I'm sure everyone's curious. Does Jared know that he was part of your love story? This
Yeah,
Jared from Indiana?
Jared, if you want to tie this whole story together, Jared's the guy that prints all the Bub t-shirts.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. That's good to know. I love it. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
What about you, Moshow? Have you ever dated anyone who hates cats, or would you ever consider it? Or if your cat hated them?
No, I met my cat lady in college again.
Oh, right, yeah.
She introduced me to cats, and we're still together to this day. And we met in college, and she is the reason why I am where I am today. Because if I didn't meet her, who knows if I would have.
Yes.
I wouldn't be brushing my teeth with ravioli. That's Queen Sushi up there. She's trying to fight to get her spot.
Oh.
Black Savage is
Oh, no.
you know? So I would never be doing any of this if it wasn't for my lovely cat lady introducing me to cats.
Oh, I love it.
Absolutely.
I love your rapping, and it's just so clever and fun. Does it bother you too that men aren't supposed to be into cats and crazy cat ladies is a thing, which I proudly am?
Well, I would get a lot of messages, and a lot of women would tell me, hey, thank you for loving animals and loving cats, because sometimes when a guy hears that I love cats, it pushes them away. So I'm an emotional guy. I got emotional over that. So I created Beautiful Cat Lady Wednesdays to kill the stigma of saying that, you know, if you love cats, you're a cat lady, or your cat guy is just like crazy cat guy, crazy cat lady. So I wanted to create Beautiful Cat Lady Wednesday. And that's just a day where I just take out, I have cat ladies enter, and I have them, you know, post from all over the world. And I just want to take the day to just let them know, hey, you're loved and appreciated. I don't think that you loving animals is crazy, and I just appreciate you as a person, and thank you for taking care of animals. And on our spare time, we like to drop some rhymes, and that's what we're doing right here.
Hey, scrub, hope you don't spaz. Hold up, gotta get my cats in bath. Cats need that pause, so you better not declaw. Adopt a cat if you were the DJ Ravi Dirty. Boy, you so purty. He got little fur, see, love him real bad, let me cat that. Black, let me cat rap. If you hating cats, then you be talking that yap. Because I want you like that.
So that's DJ Ravioli, and he's a Devon Rex, and you all know that sometimes if you don't give them a bath, you gotta give them a bath every like 2 weeks, because they only have the first 2 layers of fur, so it gets built up and their hair gets like very coarse and nappy. So you have to give them a bath to get the oils off of their skin, and that's what we do when it's time to get clean.
I love that. Imagining doing that with any of my cats makes me want to start crying immediately, the thought of it. But I love that they're cool with it.
Thank you.
Michael, what about you? I was going to ask you about having a cat with special needs. Is that kind of, have you looked more into, that world and how many need adoption that don't get it and that sort of thing? I mean, has it changed, your idea about special needs pets at all?
Well, I haven't had any other cats than special need cats. Well, when Mikola had 2 cats when we met. And that is what introduced me to the cat world right away, because I was like, yeah, we can do this, yeah, but we don't have to get any more cats, right? And then she found Monty on a webpage, and she said something like, oh, you need to see him. And I was like, okay, I can see it. Oh, yeah, he's looking different. I mean, he's looking, there we sleep, so you can see how much we love each other, right? So we went to the cat shelter, like, but we're not getting something, right? So yeah, we went there, and I completely fell in love with Monty. Monty fell in love with me, and we had to bring him home. All of a sudden, we had 3 cats. But they were not doing great together, and we found other families for them because they were meant to be alone cats, and they have a greater life now when we only have Monty. So I have only really experienced having a special need cat. Monty has what is considered being feline Down syndrome. He's very dependent on me. One time I went away. Now he's more used to me being out for jobs and so, but I went away and he got a bladder infection. He gets quickly, he will get stressed and he will pee in his sleeps, and so he has some special needs, but it's not that much.
Yeah.
But people may think it's much to have a special need pet, but the love you get back from them is just so enormous that it simply just counts for all the things that are considered troubling, right? So what was the question again?
No, I don't think that was close. I don't think there was really a great question going there, but that was a great answer. Yeah, I think really cats are just equally, all of them are insane in their own special way. So I don't think
there is no such thing as an ordinary cat. And I also used to say, like, my cat is not insane, he just has an incredible imagination, right? And I want to say something about what you said before about men and cats, and the whole thing is that there's this cliche thing that we grew up with, men has to be these strong bricks of power and just moving forward, right? But I think that's so sad, because if we as men were better to like show our feelings, be more vulnerable, there wouldn't be so many troubles in the world, because people used to connect over animals. Look at us, I mean. So I think that the thing is going on right now with the internet and pets is just so great, because the pets allow us to show our feelings in a whole nother way than we would ever have figured out ourselves, I mean. So, yeah.
That's very true. Actually, Stephen, I can ask you this question because it goes along those lines. What are some of the stupid secret cat names you call Penny?
I mean, I feel like because we have that sort of like fun roommate relationship, I'm like, sup Pia, like she's like an 80s. I mean, it's that thing of like she's like a business person and like we pass through, so it's very much like, and that's the thing, like I get weirdly specific sometimes. It's like, even though, well, because that's her personality, she's like very much a socialite, and so I have to be respectful, all that stuff.
You wouldn't call your coworker a baby or anything.
No,
like
exactly.
Yeah, so.
But also like, I think with Penny and like, well, and that's the thing. I have so many cats in my life that it's just. I feel like if anything, I probably like baby Elvis more than your cat more than Penny. But
that's my cross-eyed Siamese Elvis right there.
Oh. And here's me cheating on all those other cats.
Do you think when you started the Purrrcast, did you expect your life would become all about cats?
I mean, it's just so much fun because I feel like. Dog people have dog parks to meet other people's cats, and I think some people whose cats are shy. It just really depends on, every cat is an individual. I like to say that pets aren't people, but they're individuals, and I feel like that's the thing I've learned doing the Purrrcast, and so I feel like I've been so lucky that all these people have invited me into their homes. Alice Wetterland, Santi Dor, Georgia Brooks, Taryn Southern, like all these people's cats, like I now have like at least some type of relationship.
Yeah.
I feel very lucky that You know, because again, you know, the idea of bringing your, like, if your cat isn't social,
Yeah.
like, imagine, like, trying to take your cat who doesn't want to go in the car. Like, Penny Lane hates the car, but it's
way.
like, come visit me and you can meet Penny, you know?
I have to say that there is something that once you bring someone into your house and realize that their cats like you, they're going to be your friend forever. Like, my
Exactly.
cats love you, and so I trust you a little bit, you know, extra because they'll chill with you. So that's great that you get to meet all these people and their cats like you.
Yes. No, I feel very like, well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you go to a party and you're always like looking for the cat to like make friends with.
That's
and
right.
And that feels like you've broken that barrier.
Totally.
And then in some ways, like if you're anxious about going to a party, as long as you've made friends with the cat, then I feel like then that's something that people can kind of talk about. Like my co-host Sarah Iyer, like that was almost kind of like how we decided to do this. It was like we were at a party, like we both went to UCSB, and it was like we both somehow found us and just we were like, oh, you know, it's like this is what we can talk about and bond over. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love it. We have time for some questions from the audience. I think we're going to have everyone line up, yay, right here behind this lovely lady with her microphone. Come on up and get in line here if you want to ask a question.
Questions?
Do you guys want to, I think you guys all have more photos. Do you want to show any other photos or videos?
Sure.
Let's do a question from the audience.
Oh, there we go.
It's all you, girl. You're first.
Hello? I just met this girl and we're gonna hold hands. So first of all, I just want to say to Moshow, my good friend, thank you for creating a platform for people like us. Thankfully, I've grown up with the confidence to just be myself and stand on that mountain, but it was lonely. And so knowing that there's people out there, men, women, all of the above people that, you know, accept cat people for who we are and understand that we have this deeply intense emotional bond with this creature we can't even really speak to in English. It's amazing. So my question for the panel is, what is, you know, I don't even have a question. I just wanted to come and tell you guys I love you all. That's actually the honest truth. I just wanted to run up here and say hi. But let's see. Let's just ask a question. Other than your cat, do you have a favorite cat breed?
Breed?
Breed. B-R-E-E-D.
Oh.
I can use it in a sentence. A Siamese cat is a specific type of cat breed.
The best one, if I will say so myself. Do you have a favorite breed, you guys? I know you love Devon Rex. And also, is it Sphinx as well?
Yes, I have Sphinx, Devon Rex. I love all cats. I just want to say, I really don't have a favorite breed, but if I'm going to say, that's Tally the lover right there. She's obsessed with me. If I'm going to say a certain cat, then I would say black cats because they are the least to be adopted. Yeah. And that was the main reason why I adopted Black Savage, just to show people, hey, black cats show up well in selfies and black cats are magical and awesome.
That's right. I love that.
I'm a space cat fan. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful cat.
I love the breed rescued because they simply just love you more.
I mean, I feel like I've met so many cats. I feel like I'm almost being like, who do I want to meet? Who haven't I met yet? And I feel like I really want to meet a Savannah cat. There was one day I was like, I think it was Ventura. I was going out for Mother's Day to California Pizza Kitchen, and I saw a woman in a long summer dress, a big hat, and she was walking a Savannah cat down the street, and I was just like, #goals. I really want to meet a Savannah cat.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Someone, if there's anyone here with a Savannah cat, he'll come over, he'll put you on the podcast, on the Purrrcast.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. I also want to apologize to Steven for interrupting his lunch to take a selfie. I was like, Steven! And he was like, what is that? Anyway, so on the topic of feminism and equality and how it kind of comes into the world of animals and cats specifically, do you know, just question for everyone to answer, do you think it has to do that, like, loving animals is seen as, like, a feminine quality and showing affection is just something that men are taught not to do at such a young age? And what do you think are good ways to break down that barrier and, you know, let men know that showing affection is cool, not just to your girlfriend, but also to, like, your dude friends and, like, your cat or your dog or whatever it is? So just what you think we could do to break down that barrier.
I think it's changing a lot already. I hug my friends. I even kiss my friends. And I was raised in a house where kissing was great. Well, you know, it's hard. You live in your circle, and you know, that's how it is. We're very affectionate with our kids. And I remember, you know, when I bring Roscoe to his toddler school in the morning, I give him a bunch of kisses. He gives me a bunch of kisses. And I remember my teacher saying, oh, you know, that's nice. You know, we're not a kissing family. And I was like, oh, that's really? You don't want to just kiss your kids? They're your kids. So I think maybe it starts with kids. Like, show your kids affection, and they learn that, and then they show. My kids, anytime they see a cat, they just lay their head down and say, I love you. And that's like, you know, if that's what you grow up with, then you're going to be a pretty nice kid, I hope.
That's sweet.
Well, I grew up in the projects of Baltimore City, so showing emotion where I grew up was like, you couldn't do that because, you know, people would beat you up, or you could literally get hurt from where I come from. So I honestly think it just starts with people just being open and just saying, I don't hang out with these guys at all. I don't really get to see them. We all got busy schedules, but I think it starts with just letting people know that you love them. And it's okay to show your emotion. I know when I get out my emotions and I tell people I love them, I tell all the cat people I love them, and just everybody in general how I feel, or just how, if I'm having a bad day, you never know who's having a bad day. You never know how people are feeling. So when you get that emotion off of your chest, it just makes you feel better. And it's okay to show emotion. We all go through emotions. So why not be open and just spread the love? So I think it starts with just letting people know it's okay to have feelings. And I love everybody, so I want you guys to know that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with the thing that there's this thing that we as men are more likely to be taught that don't show any feelings because you are supposed to be strong all the way through. And I don't think that there's a specific way. We had animals when I was a kid, but I think that you need to get in a position where you allow yourself to be affected by a specific animal, because not all animals will be able to get into you. So we need to educate our children and our kids, get them kisses also, but need to educate them in getting out and meet animals. Because right now, where they meet animals will be in the industry or in the farm or something. So we need to get to shelters. They need to see the animals and feel them. So if they don't have pets, yeah, I think that would be great, yeah.
We have a very special big surprise. We have actually another love story to tell. About 2 months ago, we sent out a request for CatCon love stories. And what that means is we asked you, the audience, you, the community of cat lovers, if you had brought a significant other to CatCon, if you'd met somebody at CatCon. And we got 30 to 40 stories of people that had fallen in love over their love of cats. Some had gotten engaged around CatCon, and we had one couple that actually got engaged at CatCon in 2015. And right now, the entire CatCon team is really honored to bring up the couple that got engaged in 2015, and they are going to get married on stage right now. So, but wait, there's more. Their names are Paul and Colleen, and Bub is going to be their bridesmaid. And Moshow is going to be their best man. So before we bring them out, remember, no screaming, just clapping and lots of awes. Because you know, you guys all know how Bub is. She gets scared very easily, you want to keep it quiet, but she'll feel your love no matter what, and so will this couple. So thank you everyone for joining us for this very special moment, and let's start the wedding.
Paul and Colleen, all of us at the CatCon family, we're thrilled to be part of your early love story, and we're thrilled to be part of this happy day. This occasion not only marks the beginning of Colleen and Paul's marriage commitment together, but it is a commemoration of the love nurtured and shared between these two. Together, they embark today on a new life together, built on the foundations of trust, compassion, mutual respect, and of course, a love of cats. When you think about it, CatCon is really the perfect place for these two to declare their love. Colleen is a vet assistant at Banfield Pet Hospital, while Paul owns a catering business that caters functions for animal organizations like PETA and WAG. Paul and Colleen's cats, Buster and Bubba, weren't able to be here today, but they are here in spirit. Marriage is an ancient human tradition. The personal and social merits that accompany the bonds of marriage have led to its continued endurance and have paved the way for us to be standing here celebrating the union between these two people today. As we celebrate this bond of unity today, it is important that we keep in mind that while this is certainly an occasion of tremendous joy, the promises we witness here today are serious and life-altering commitments. With joy and respect, we now proceed with the vows. Colleen and Paul, please join hands. Colleen, do you take Paul as your husband in front of these witnesses and promise to stay by his side through sickness and in health, joy and sorrow, so long as you both shall live?
I do.
Paul, will you take Colleen as your wife in front of these witnesses and promise to stay by her side through sickness and health, joy and sorrow, so long as you both shall live?
I absolutely do.
The wedding rings perfectly symbolize the never-ending love you two have for each other. By exchanging these rings, you solidify a lifelong commitment to one another. The rings serve as a welcome and constant reminder of the bond you've formed with your partner. Please repeat after me. I, Colleen, give you, Paul, this ring as a symbol of my enduring love.
This ring as a symbol of my enduring love.
Just as the circle of the ring completes itself,
Just as the circle of the ring completes itself,
so you complete me.
so you complete me.
I, Paul,
give you, Colleen,
this ring as a symbol of my enduring love.
this ring as a symbol of my enduring love.
Just as the circle of the ring completes itself,
Just as the circle of the ring completes itself,
so you complete me.
so you complete me.
Colleen and Paul, by the power vested in me by the Universal Life Church in the state of California, I am pleased to pronounce you wife and husband, sealed together today, both in law and in love. Paul, you may kiss your bride.
No, you're gonna have lipstick.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now have the privilege of presenting for the first time as spouses, Colleen and Paul Benson.